Morning. It's Sunday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, if I recall correctly. But with all the shit that's going on in the world, with the pandemic, with the impeachment, with the stimulus package that hasn't been settled yet, with all of that, and St. Valentine's Day, we probably have forgotten about another great event, an event that has been going on for over 3,500 years. And I am talking about the Lunar New Year, the Chinese New Year, a 2-week celebration that had fireworks, a parade, dragon parade, and wonderful food in the Chinese restaurant. We never missed a meal on the Chinese New Year. We went to our favorite Chinese restaurant on Jericho Turnpike, and we had a feast. And we did that for many years until, unfortunately, they closed. Now, there are many people that believe that the Chinese New Year originated in the Shang Dynasty, which is 1600 to 1046 BC. And people held sacrificial ceremonies to honor gods and their ancestors at the beginning of each new year. But it was in 104 BCE that the Emperor Wu of the Han Dynasty, which is 206 BCE to 220 CE, approved a calendar reform that fixed the beginning of the year on the day of the first new moon after the sun enters the 11th sign of the solar zodiac, or the second new moon after the winter solstice. Now, if you understand that, you're a lot better than I am. But think about it. 3,500 years ago, they started this tradition. And if you went to Chinatown in San Francisco or in New York, it was celebrated with parades and fireworks. It was a wonderful evening, a joyous time. Now, for the Chinese, this is the most important holiday of the year, and it's the most festive holiday of the year. But not this year, because the pandemic has shut down anything that creates a crowd. This holiday is also very important to many other Asian countries. And the lunar calendar, as you know, is based on cycles of the moon. It's interesting. There's a tradition. It's a custom called sweeping of the ground. And when I read about this, it reminded me of Passover. As most of you know, on Passover, we get rid of the chumash, we clean our houses, we change our dishes. We bring out the Passover dishes, right? Well, it seems like for the lunar holiday and the sweeping of the grounds, the houses are thoroughly cleaned to remove any bad luck that might be lingering inside. And the holiday is strictly reserved for family celebration, like a Seder, and including religious ceremonies honoring their ancestors. Another thing that happens on the Lunar New Year, on the New Year Day actually, family members receive little red envelopes, which are called lacy, containing small amounts of money. Reminds me of our tradition of giving Hanukkah gelt. So maybe the world is not so different as we believe it to be. Seems like many customs run and are created by different segments of society, but they seem to be similar to what other segments of society do. And there's special food that's served on this holiday. Something called tang wan, which is a sticky rice ball that symbolizes family unity. And then they got fagaho, which is a prosperity cake. And then they serve raw fish and a vegetable salad. These are traditional dishes. And we might consider it something like matzo ball soup or matzo brie, right? So these struck me. When I'm reading this, they got food reserved for the new year. A little bit of let's gelt. It's kind of traditional things that exist in many family traditions, religious traditions. But there won't be any family gathering this year, and there won't be any eating of the special food except in very small groups. because the pandemic has made travel almost impossible and social distancing and restrictions put on you by the government. So most people are not going to have the traditional Lunar New Year celebrations. But I'm sure there will be a lot of Zooming. Zooming has saved many of us this year. We have been at least able to see some of our friends' smiling faces and our acquaintances, and we've been able to talk in groups and do some things that were quite interesting. Not as good as when you're there live and in person, but anyhow, it enables you to see that everybody is still doing fairly well. So I'm sure that in Chinese New Year, that the Chinese and other Asian groups will take advantage of Zoom. And they have some other traditions that they'll be able to carry out. Many of them set up an altar where the family photos are held. And I'm sure they'll be able to send prints back and forth of photos to each other or show their altars on Zoom. One last item. Each New Year was marked by the characteristics of one of the 12 zodiac animals. The rat, the ox, the tiger, the rabbit, the dragon, the snake, the horse, the sheep, the monkey, the rooster, the dog, and the pig. And it's appropriate that this is the year of the ox. The ox is strong and stubborn and will fight to get through the day. And that's what we in the world are faced with. We have to be strong and stubborn and stick with it because we have to lick this pandemic. So while the pandemic has thrown our lives into madness and sadness this year, let's remember that this is the year of the ox. Be stubborn, be strong, be safe, wear your mask, and everything will turn out okay. And don't be a non-vaxxer. Get that vaccination, get both shots, and get better. And let's hope that next year, which will be the year of the tiger, we can roam freely in our own personal jungles. So I think that's enough for now. And have a happy New Year celebration if you can find it. And that's all I'll say. Bye.